Hello, everybody. Thanks for listening to Wake Up, Look Up, a podcast where we connect events happening in real time to the gospel of Jesus Christ. I'm Zach Wyrock. And in today's episode, we're asking the question, is my phone making me lonely? And the answer, by the way, is yes. That's at least according to a few studies that are coming out, which are once again showing us that smartphones and social media are not only eroding the fabric of our society, but they're changing our hearts and minds. So for example, a study of 500 teenagers that were asked 3 times a day, when's the last time you interacted with an actual human person? At least 50% of the teenagers, every time they were asked, said it had been over an hour since they had last interacted with a human. Adults are not immune from this. 1 out of every 2 adults say that they regularly deal with loneliness. In fact, studies are showing that there are 3 things that smartphones and social media are doing to us. Number 1, they're causing us to envy, to compare ourselves to each other unfavorably. Who can keep up with all the cool vacations and gadgets and clothes and stuff people are doing on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, making us feel like our lives are uninteresting and uninspiring? In fact, a study of 220 college freshmen recently indicated that the number 1 negative feeling they experience in relationship to social media is envy. The second trend is that we're increasingly, and I am super guilty of this, text messaging each other over actually hearing each other's voices or actually interacting with each other. Increasingly, we're turning each other into chat bots that you text with. And then third, we are increasingly addicted to streaming videos, whether it's binge watching a show or going down the YouTube rabbit hole. Listen, I know at Wake Up, Look Up, we've been banging this drum, but social media and our phones are changing us. They are creating isolated, lonely people. And of course, you don't even need me to tell you that by doing that, they are in large part separating us from what it means to be made in the image of God. God is triune, Father, Son, and Spirit. Before there was anything, there was God in community with himself. That's why Genesis 1 says, let us make man in our image. That's why God said in Genesis 2 that the task of imaging him was too big for Adam. It wasn't good for him to be alone. He needed community. That's what we're made to have. If we go into our phones and away from each other, we're not just becoming lonely, we're not just becoming envious, we're becoming less and less human. And that's going to change how we understand ourselves. It's going to change how we understand God. But we're also kind of dehumanizing each other. We are seeing each other as impositions. It's easier to text you than call you because there's no value to actually engaging you. I just need information. It's easier to assume that you and I can't connect because you're too busy being awesome on all of your trips and to be envious of you than it is to actually get to know you and even maybe to deal with the messiness of the inequity of our lives. The reality is that social media is separating us from what it means to be human and what it means to love each other, which is why we have to be more intentional. Listen, the idea that we would go away from smartphones or the internet or social media is probably a little pie in the sky. Although I'll tell you, I have recently stopped using social media personally, and it's been awesome, and I don't miss it. And I think you might feel the same way if you tried it. But even if I can't get you there, can we at least set some boundaries for ourselves? Can we actually call instead of text every now and then? Can we limit our screen time and how much time particularly we're spending on social media? When we're feeling lonely, can we refuse to reach for a device and instead spend time with an actual person, or at least go where actual people are? Friends, this is not what God wants for us, and we're not flourishing. We're increasingly becoming lonely. I feel it, you feel it, I know it, you know it. Is my phone making me lonely? Yes. So for the glory of God, for the good of your neighbor, and for your own personal joy, put it in a drawer. Hey, thanks so much for watching this episode of Wake Up, Look Up. While you're here, take a minute to like and subscribe. It really helps us get the word out. Don't hesitate to leave a review wherever you might find this podcast on an audio level and help spread the word. And hey, while you're here, check out all the other content we have at Christ Community Chapel on YouTube. Some of those videos are popping up on the screen now. Click on one.